Okay, the first card is a 3 of Wands. The next card, Ace of Pentacles. I have 2 of Swords. This is Wheel of the Year. I have Ace of Cups, and that will be in the center. I have the Chariot. This is Karma. I have a Queen of Wands. And then this is an Ace of Wands. Very, very interesting. This fire energy coming through the wands is very, it's sort of already jumping out at me and giving me some information about what might be happening. Now, air and fire, air is represented by swords and fire represented by wands. Air and fire do have this special relationship because air does nurture fire, and there's this burst of energy that's going on. And by the way, I'll pull one more card for you new people at the end of the main spread. So there's this combination where air and fire interact. Air makes, it helps the fire grow. Fire needs that energy. So when I look at these wands, I'm kind of getting a sense of your energy with some of the partners or the love interest here, because you have a 3 of Wands reversed, and sometimes that can actually mean a setback of some kind, a delay. Your partner is saying, hold on a second, let's just wait for a little while. Usually the 3 of Wands, when it's not reversed, it is about expectant waiting, that you know something is going to arrive or something that's going to happen. It's just a matter of being patient. But when it's reversed, and whenever fire is reversed, you get a little bit of chaos, a little bit of disagreements in relationships. You're not seeing eye to eye. Now, something very interesting starts to happen here, especially with this Ace of Pentacles and then the grounded Wheel of the Year, which has 2 pentacles actually. And that also caught my eye as well, because the pentacles are very slow. They represent earth, they ground things, they're a part of the natural physical world. And so I kind of got a feeling that there might be some real life issues with job, money, finances for some of you Libras that are going on. And it could definitely be money issues. And then one other thing I also want to point out, you have 3 aces. Now you don't have an Ace of Swords, which would be nice because swords represent air, but you do have an Ace of Pentacles, an Ace of Cups, and an Ace of Wands. And I think it's interesting how your Ace of Pentacles is in the past influence, like maybe some of you Libras met someone new, new relationship. I usually see the Ace of Pentacles in relationship readings as the beginning of a relationship or just dating. Then here in the center, we get down to an Ace of Cups, where emotionally, you're sort of starting to fall in love. There's that emotional attachment. And then there's an Ace of Wands, and that Ace of Wands is in your future, and this is always about getting started on new beginnings, being motivated, being inspired, going after what you want, taking risks. And so I know that some of you are probably not in a new relationship, but I'm seeing these aces as important turning points for what's going to be happening in the relationship. In combination with these wands, I'm definitely feeling the energy of another person where there's a big hold up, but in the future it looks like this fire energy, this Queen of Wands, comes across as a person of interest, male or female, or whatever gender orientation you choose. This is a person of interest to me, and she's strongly linked to that Ace of Wands and new beginning. So some of you Libras are going to be, definitely moving forward if you're dating or if there is a person of interest. But there's definitely going to be a shift with all these aces and new beginnings, and then all this fire. And remember, fire it's a very quick energy. It burns out quickly. And so just make sure that as this, if you're going on this ride, this roller coaster ride, just make sure that you're grounded. And I think that's what the Pentacles are here for. So yeah, when I look at the past, I feel like there's a little bit of a hold up, and then the energy of the Ace of Pentacles comes along, where circumstances in our physical material world, the physical space between partners, it sort of feels like some of you are going to be able to try to make things work in spite of current disagreements. And I do see quite a few arguments and disagreements here with that Three of Wands reversed. Nevertheless, you do have a Two of Swords, Libra. Maybe the indecision is yours. Maybe there's a little bit of overthinking. Sometimes that Two of Swords, it's not just about a disagreement between two people, but a disconnection within you, a disconnect between head and heart, conscious and subconscious. You're in indecision, and you're blindfolded because you don't have clarity yet. But as I've always said in these readings, you drop one of those swords, drop some of the baggage, and you should be able to know what to do. So when we get here to the middle, yes, another pentacle. The Wheel of the Year is about changing luck, changing seasons. And it definitely feels like your luck is changing, because then these major arcana cards are coming up here. You do have three. You have Wheel of the Year, and then the Chariot moves you forward. Now we have some unity here. We have the conscious and the subconscious together, working together. You pushing forward, knowing what you want, seeing the path clearly, and being able to move forward. And then, remember that Ace of Cups. So it feels as if some of you Libras in the month of September, and maybe it's because in October, more of you Libras are going to be having your birthdays, and your sun sign is going to be strongest. So, I'm kind of feeling like there's a jump start. There are a lot of big holdups and indecision here. And then we get this very, very important shift here, where there's a change in luck, a change in seasons, a change in circumstances. And then all of a sudden with the Ace of Cups, there seems to be emotional renewal, especially if you're one of those couples that broke up. This can mean getting back together. And then you have the Chariot with its energy. There's a focus now. There's an understanding now. And so this is important. And the Chariot is associated, as far as this Witch's Tarot deck goes, this is associated with Cancer. So we have a little bit of water here. This subconscious, but also the feeling and the intuition and the opening up emotionally. That's what I'm feeling. This change in seasons where there's no longer any indecision, that you're drawn more to what you want in the relationship. And so I also not only get a change in seasons, but then we get karma. And this is also about change, because karma is about those decisions we make that come back around. Karma is about facing our destiny and understanding that every decision that we make in our lives has a domino effect in the future. So there's a big event or change or shift that comes here with karma. And what does that mean? It can kind of mean that your partner, I feel this applies to your love interest or partner, Libras. I feel like your partner is going to be dealing with their own set of circumstances, maybe a new job or losing a job, some type of physical, personal issue that will create a huge shift, because then I see this new fiery energy. There's no longer any hold up with that Three of Wands here. All of a sudden, this Queen of Wands shows up like, hey, I'm ready. and moving towards this Ace of Wands, this new beginning. So I feel like that karma is going to be a positive shift, especially if your partners are dealing with obstacles or issues that is distracting them from the relationship. It feels like karma is going to come along and do a little bit of house cleaning and also get your love interest or partner together. So I'm pulling that outcome card. And you have a Knight of Pentacles. So that earth energy is coming back here. Now the Knight of Pentacles is not necessarily romantic because it is earth. And earth is about the physical material. Sometimes it's about money. But the Knight of Pentacles is always a good energy because it's about being practical. And perhaps, yes, there is a temptation to fall in love. The Ace of Cups is always about ecstasy and emotional fulfillment. But this Knight of Pentacles is interesting because for some of you it could be a person of interest, especially if that person is an earth sign. And I feel like it could be about you, Libra, being down to earth and moving forward practically. But it can definitely mean, in association with that Ace of Pentacles, that new beginning as well, that this night, this person of interest is going to be in the future for you. Okay. There's going to be slow and steady progress because remember, Pentacles representing earth are very slow. So that was your reading, Libra. I hope that some of you start enjoying your birthday month in a few more weeks, and I'll definitely be seeing you next month for the rest of you who are celebrating birthdays. A big thank you to my subscribers and my Patreon sponsors. Thank you so much for your support this past summer. And I hope that you are getting ready to celebrate fall. I wish you love and light, and of course I'll see you next month.